Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we are here on the 13th of July, 2020, to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. Now, tonight's Raw was hit or miss, to be completely honest. I thought if you didn't watch it, you really didn't miss much. To be 100% completely honest. Derek, you're being way too generous. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, the text message number is 510-906-1341. Also, a little housekeeping for you guys. Nick and I will be live tomorrow night with another Hangout stream. Not sure exactly what we're going to be doing, but we'll be here live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Then I'll be back live on Wednesday for the NXT and the AEW Fight for the Fallen review. Thursday, we're also going to be live on Twitch. Nick and I are going to do something special. Tomorrow's probably going to be more like a news discussion show. And I think Thursday may be a gaming stream with me and Nick here live on Twitch. Friday, we've got SmackDown. Saturday, join us here live Saturday, right after Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. We'll be reviewing that show. We'll go over everything that took place at Slammiversary this coming Saturday. Then the following night, Sunday, we will be live here on Twitch yet again for WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. And then we start everything over again next Monday night with Raw. Then we go back into the Hangout stream, NXT, AEW, and so forth. Wayne says, what time tomorrow? I assume probably an hour earlier than this, if not 2 hours earlier. It all depends on my kid's schedule. It's kind of how everything goes. But if everything goes according to plan, we should be live on Twitch for the next 10 days straight. Today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next 10 days, we should be here live on Twitch. And by this time next week, we should have already passed all of our goals, all of our achievements to get the affiliate level here on Twitch. That means you guys can start supporting us. You guys can subscribe to us here on Twitch. You guys can send the bits. You guys can donate. All that good stuff to support us here on Twitch. And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime. And if you have Twitch Prime, then that means you can sub to one streamer on Twitch, any channel you want throughout the month, absolutely free, no cost to you. Basically, if you don't use it, it's money. It's money going to waste, burning a hole in your pocket. So if you guys got Amazon Prime, use that Amazon Prime to set it up with Twitch Prime and support us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Let me cough one more time and we'll start talking about Raw. Jesus, I can't get rid of this cough. The cough's been so bad today that I've been coughing so hard, it's making my eyes water, so let's get into it, though. Raw. Oh, boy. Do we even need to talk about this show? To be completely honest, yeah, we do, because that's what we do here. We talk about Monday Night Raw. And Raw kicked off with MVP and the VIP Lounge. So, MVP said that his special guest was Dolph Ziggler, the man who brought Drew McIntyre to Monday Night Raw. Ziggler said he likes MVP's new U.S. belt and said when he beats McIntyre, he might get something similar made for himself as the new WWE champion. MVP put over Ziggler, who said that he knew what it took to put McIntyre back into obscurity. Ziggler said that McIntyre never thanked him, and MVP couldn't believe how ungrateful that was. Ziggler said that he also takes credit for McIntyre's big win at WrestleMania over Brock Lesnar. MVP thanks Ziggler because he knew McIntyre wouldn't. Finally, the champ, Drew McIntyre, would come down and interrupt. McIntyre apologized for interrupting and said that this is nothing more than a ass-kissing contest. Each man is kissing the other's ass. McIntyre assured MVP that he wouldn't Claymore kick him again because he's saving it for Dolph Ziggler. McIntyre said that Ziggler used people like Mandy Rose and Big E. I mean, if you're going to type Big E in there, you might as well say AJ Lee. Ooh, not allowed to say that name, AJ Lee. He said they were never really friends. He was just Ziggler's muscle because Ziggler used him. McIntyre called Ziggler one of the most talented people in the industry, but he's going to get hurt and tortured come Extreme Rules. McIntyre wanted some action tonight, so MVP stepped in front of Ziggler. McIntyre decked Ziggler with a right hand anyways, though. He also teased attacking MVP, who flinched. I thought this was fine. I guess they're not going to tell us what the actual stipulation for the match at Extreme Rules is going to be, even though it was possibly spoiled today during a Facebook ad that popped up that said that this match between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler will be a tables, ladders, and chairs match. And here's the interesting thing. Last week, a graphic was put out by WWE that said, what stipulation will Dolph Ziggler pick? And there was 3 images on there of Dolph in different types of matches, and one was a ladder match. So was that foreshadowing that Dolph is picking a ladder match, or TLC. In the back, Charlie Caruso interviewed Angel Garza. Andrade and Zelina would show up as well. She asked Garza a question, but Zelina answered instead. She called it a false narrative that her clients can't get along. They already beat the Viking Raiders and the Big Show. She said no man could measure up to them, and no woman was on her level. Vega started to run down Caruso. Wow, I read that way wrong. But Andrade and Garza got her to calm down. Garza said he couldn't beat both opponents. Andrade said they could win as long as Garza has his back. Viking Raiders would interrupt here. Eric called them cheaters who attacked their friends, the Street Profits. Caruso was enamored with Ivar. Ivar took the rose from Garza and gave it to her. She was kind of smitten by Ivar. Now, if you're asking yourself, where have the Street Profits been? They got some time off. Basically, Angelo Dawkins' wife was expecting to go into labor at any time during the last set of tapings. So they gave him the time off. And they gave him time off, so you're not going to have Ford there if you're not going to have Dawkins. Dawkins' wife did end up having the baby last week. And so they should be, from all I've heard, I assume they're back next week at the Raw tapings. So we'll see how that all goes. But they got a little bit of time off because Angelo Dawkins' wife was going into labor at any time. And like I stated, she did have the baby last week. So congratulations to them. All of this, though, led to an elimination tag team match next. Viking Raiders versus Garza and Andrade. First elimination was on Eric about 2.5 minutes in. Andrade pinned Eric after hitting him with a hammerlock DDT, while Garza kicked Ivar off the apron. It was like super quick. Like I said, less than 2.5 minutes, if that. Probably right around. After a break, Ivar went for a dive, but Garza saved Andrade. Garza asked, hey, we on the same page? They're on the same page. They bumped fist. Ivar took them down with a dive. Andrade saved Garza moments later in the ring, and Garza gave Ivar a dropkick. Ivar fought back anyways and hit a clothesline. Ivar gave Andrade a spin kick and pinned him to eliminate him into the almost 8-minute mark, or right around the 8-minute mark. Ivar had Garza pinned after another spin kick, but Andrade put Garza's foot on the ropes. Referee didn't see Andrade do it, but he saw the foot on the rope. Moments later, though, Garza caught Ivar on the turnbuckle, hit him with the powerbomb, and pinned him. Yeah, Garza hit a powerbomb on Ivar and pinned him to pick up the victory for Andrade and Angel Garza. Thought it was a straightforward match. Elimination from one team, elimination from the other team, turns into a singles match. Bada boom, there you go. So in the back, Sarah Schreiber interviewed Ruby Riott. As she was about to ask her about the Iconics and her losses over the last few weeks, the Iconics would interrupt. They reminded Ruby that she's got no friends. You may think Liv's your friend, but where's she been? She's not here. They then reminded Ruby that we've both beaten you. We're supposed to have a tag team match tonight, but you don't have a partner. And, well, imaginary friends don't count. The Iconics continued to talk trash, and Ruby lit them for a few minutes before she stopped them and says, I got a partner. My partner's right here. It's the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. Belair wanted to help her friend Ruby Riott. This made no sense, but hey, it got Bianca on Raw, so I'm not complaining. But the pairing made no sense. Basically, it was supposed to be Liv Morgan. Liv can't go to the tapings right now. Basically, Liv, Lana, and Mandy. I don't know if Sonya was there or not, but Liv, Lana, and Mandy a few weeks back were on a boat in the lake in Florida. I think it was in Florida. Well, Lana has been in contact with people that have been tested positive for COVID, so Lana was not at the last of the tapings. Because Liv and Mandy were around Lana, they were also not brought into the last of the TV tapings as a precaution. None of them have tested negative for COVID-19, but just to be safe, WWE did not bring any of them in. And so that's why we've gotten no Mandy Rose the last couple of weeks, no Lana the last couple of weeks, and still no Liv Morgan here to help Ruby Riott. So next up, we did get a tag team match. Ruby Riott and Bianca Belair against the Iconics. Match went maybe 3.5 minutes. So the Iconics worked over Riott until Belair made a hot tag. Belair picked up Billie Kay and squatted her before slamming her down. Peyton Royce broke up a pin, so Riott took her out. Hit her with a step up and Zaguri. Belair followed this up with the KOD on Kay and pinned her to pick up the victory. So in the back, we see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. R-Truth approached him and said, "Hey, Richard." He's like, I'm not Richard, Ricochet. And he had basically congratulated him on being the MVP of Monday Night Raw. And Ricochet goes, whoa. What are you talking about? Wait, I think I know. Tonight I'm facing Bobby Lashley, who will have MVP in his corner tonight on Raw. Cedric wondered why Truth wasn't worried about his own match tonight with Randy Orton. Truth said, No. I was challenged by Ric Flair, not Randy Orton. And Cedric goes, let me explain this to you. You were challenged by Ric Flair on behalf of Randy Orton. You're facing Randy Orton. Truth then realized this and was like, uh-oh. He then ran into Akira Tozawa and said, can you teach me how to do black belt karate in like 5, 6, or 7 minutes? Tozawa said no and tried to pin him for the title, but Truth kicked out. Tozawa's ninjas appeared, so Alexander and Ricochet showed up behind Truth as backup. Ricochet did some dumb Karate Kid pose. Truth challenged Tozawa to a match, said, hey, let's go do this right now in the ring. So the match actually didn't happen, though. Truth said he came out alone and wondered why Tozawa brought the ninjas. All of a sudden, the music of Shayna Basler would hit. And Basler would return to Raw after being gone for months, marched right down to the ring. Tozawa sent his ninjas after Basler. She beat them down one at a time. Tozawa was so nervous he left, and so did Truth. So Basler's in the ring all by herself. She said she's been waiting patiently. She basically issued a warning to the women's champion and said she was here to give them a hard dose of reality, and she is the reality. So in the back, Seth Rollins approached a concerned-looking Buddy Murphy. Rollins asked him, "What's wrong?" And the way he said it, what's wrong? I was waiting for him to say, "What's wrong, my child?" It was just, he had that vernacular in his voice when he was just like, he literally walked up to Murphy and was just like, "What's wrong?" And I was just like, oh my God, if he would have said, "What's wrong, my child?" I would have lost my shit. That would have been the funniest thing ever. And it would have fit the character, though. So Murphy asked, "Are you really going to go out there at Extreme Rules and risk getting blinded? You guys going to try and blind each other?" And Rollins said, "Nothing good happens without sacrifice. And Rey Mysterio is the one who asked for this match." Rollins said, "You need to focus on your match here tonight with Aleister Black." Rollins said, "I also have a message I need to deliver." They had the commercial for the new WWE 2K Battlegrounds video game. If you haven't seen this yet, it starts with a clip of Daniel Bryan jumping out of a helicopter. So Seth Rollins comes down to cut a promo. Rollins repeated the phrase "eye for an eye" 7 times before he initially thought that Mysterio's challenge was just a metaphor. But since he learned, well, it's not. Rollins wondered how it got to this point. He said the only way to win was to puck your opponent's eye out, and never has this company sanctioned that kind of that sort of brutality in a match before. Rollins claimed they never intended on harming Rey. He rambled on for a little while, saying that he's the leader of Raw, blah, blah, blah. He said Sunday would indeed be a horror show because he was going to gouge Mysterio's eyes out and make him blind. He said Mysterio will never watch his son get married. He will never see his wife's face again, and he will never see another sunrise or sunset. Rollins said that Extreme Rules would be the end of Rey Mysterio, but will be a new beginning for him. Kevin Owens would then come out. These two are supposed to have a match. Owens thought Mysterio would pick a last man standing match or a cage or something along those lines, not an eye for an eye match. Owens said an eye for an eye match to him, well, kind of a disturbing idea, but even more disturbing that Rollins was a despicable man. One of the most respected men in WWE and all of the business is Rey Mysterio, and he felt that this was just something that Seth should not be doing. Trying to gouge his eye out. Owens knew how Mysterio felt, and he was willing to end his own career just to shut up Rollins at WrestleMania. Owens told him not to worry because he had a pirate friend named Jean-Pierre Lafayette who provided an eye patch for him. Murphy marched out, but Aleister Black attacked him. This then led to Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. Not Buddy Murphy, Murphy. Just Murphy. So Murphy tried suplexing Black to the outside while standing on the middle rope, but Black slipped out and gave him a black mask, which actually looked pretty cool. Black had it all but one before Rollins broke up the cover, causing the disqualification. I thought the match was good while it lasted, but again, this is a lame DQ finish. Mysterio and Dominic entered, so Rollins couldn't actually escape because Rollins did not want to actually face Kevin Owens here tonight, but he ended up doing so in a 17-minute match. So Owens was in control early on before Rollins took over. There was a funny moment where Owens was down on the outside as Black and Dominic confronted Rollins. Owens slipped between them and yelled, "Surprise!" and punched Rollins. Owens was in full control until Rollins gave him a chop block and a suicide dive. Rollins was in control after a commercial break. Rollins countered a powerbomb attempt, but Owens caught him with a super kick and followed this up with a DDT for a 2. Rollins dropped Owens face first into the turnbuckle and then followed up the blockbuster for a 2. Owens blocked a super kick, but then hit Owens blocked a super kick and then hit a super kick of his own. Rollins slipped out of a pop-up powerbomb attempt and hit a super kick for a near fall. They fought on the turnbuckle until Rollins began gouging at the eyes of Kevin Owens, and Owens fell off the top middle rope. Each of the baby faces on the outside hopped on the apron and distracted Rollins, allowing Owens to hit him with a stunner, pick up the victory. Bada bing, bada boom. Kevin Owens defeats Seth Rollins. Here's the thing, like I always say, when somebody loses at the pay-per-view before the Raw or SmackDown before the pay-per-view, it's usually a sign 70% of the time they're winning at the pay-per-view. So I'm expecting Seth to defeat Ray. So next up, in the back, Ric Flair catches up with Big Show. Flair said he's been in this business for 48 years. And Show has been with him for the last 20 of those years. Actually, it's like 22. Because Big Show started in WCW in like 98, I want to say. Let me look that up. Big Show started in WCW 95. I know there was a couple years there where Rick was gone and whatnot, but anyways. He said he spent the last 20 years with Big Show, and they become really close friends. Versus Show stood out over all the other big men he's ever worked with, like Brody and Hanson and Andre the Giant. However, Show was picking a fight he just can't win. Flair said you can't go to Hollywood and then just come back thinking you could pick up where you left off. He said, look what happened to Edge. Even The Rock hasn't come back. Flair wanted to show to go into the Hall of Fame and go in healthy. He said, I don't want you to go in with an injury because I know what Randy Orton will do to you. Show knew what Flair was trying to do. He was trying to get him to back down to Randy Orton. He knew what Orton had done to Edge and Christian. And tonight, he faces one of their friends tonight in R-Truth and told Rick, you know that shouldn't be happening. Show wondered if Flair was willing to sacrifice all of his friendships just so Randy Orton can be the legend killer. They then aired a Randy Orton video package that was really good before Orton cut a promo. Orton stumbled twice in the promo, but other than that, the promo was really good. Orton said, you were lucky in this industry if you make it out without a handful of friends. He said he's had friends like Edge, Christian, Big Show, Ric Flair. He's traveled the roads with many people telling stories along the way. But now, Orton knows he's got to send those friends home. He did it to Edge, then he did it to Christian. He said, Show's been my friend for about 20 years and took me under his wing. Orton wondered why Show would fracture that relationship. Orton said Flair was like family, and it would be a shame if he did anything to jeopardize that. Orton said Truth had his respect, but it would be a shame when he becomes another chapter in the story of the legend killer. Ric Flair excitedly approached Randy Orton and said, hey, it's time, let's go. Orton said, I'll meet you out there, I'm right behind you. Before staring down Ric Flair, and my first thought was, oh boy, when's he turning on Rick? When's he turning on Rick? Rick probably can't take an RKO. Rick probably can't take a punt kick. But when's he turning on Rick? Because when he said, I'm right behind you, he kind of went. Staring a hole through Ric Flair from the back. From behind. Through the back of his head. My first thought was, Randy don't care about nobody. He gonna turn on Rick eventually. So Randy Orton took on R-Truth. Before the match, Flair came out and congratulated Truth on an illustrious career. Flair said Orton respected Truth as much as he did, which is why he wasn't going to punt his head off. He was only going to give him an RKO. So they go to start the match, and Truth goes, wait, Randy, stop. I need to talk to Rick. Orton tried to sneak attack him, and Truth was ready for it, though. Truth tried a scissors kick, and Orton dodged it, hit an RKO, and pinned R-Truth in like 30 seconds. Orton would then do what Flair said that he wasn't going to do and set up for a punt kick before the Big Show's music would hit and stop it all in its tracks. Orton said Truth wasn't on his punt list, but the Big Show is. Orton challenged Big Show to an unsanctioned match, not at the pay-per-view this Sunday, but next Monday on Monday Night Raw. Show said, I accept, yelling it, and jumped into the ring before Randy Orton ran off. Big Show would check on R-Truth. Bada boom, there we go. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to check something. Never mind. All right, so we see MVP showing off his U.S. title belt to Ricochet and Alexander before they left. So Schreiber asked MVP his strategy for Sunday, and MVP said, well, you'll win. I win. It's a foregone conclusion. That's the strategy. And then I celebrate as the undisputed champion. He said, I will be the one and only United States champion. Lashley then threatened to hurt Ricochet tonight. Schreiber saw McIntyre, so she ran him down and asked him about Ziggler and Ziggler's unknown stipulation. McIntyre said that he could pick any step he wanted. Ziggler then attacked him wildly, and they brawled briefly until they were separated by officials. Remember, an ad was shown on appeared on Facebook today that stated that this match is supposed to be tables, ladders, and chairs. We got Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet. Match went about 3.5 minutes or so. Lashley was in control and used a modified Dominator for a near fall. Lashley used a vertical suplex for a 2. Then Ricochet used a standing shooting star for a 1. Ricochet tried something off the ropes, but Lashley caught him and put him in the full Nelson to win by submission. Lashley held on to the move, so Alexander ran down to try to make the save, and he was attacked by MVP. After Alexander knocked down MVP, Lashley grabbed him and gave him a full Nelson of his own. Well, full Nelson slam this time. The announcers then ran down the card for Extreme Rules. And it's interesting. Still no bar fight between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. The match was basically set up on SmackDown last Friday. We had all weekend for them to confirm it. But no. Tonight, nothing. No bar fight yet. So hopefully that match gets announced on Friday. I mean, maybe they're waiting until the last minute to make sure Sheamus can be there at the show. And I don't know exactly what's going on with Sheamus, but Sheamus lives in the same city as Rusev. Sheamus and Rusev hang out with each other. Rusev has tested positive for COVID-19. Take that how you want. Charlie Caruso interviewed The Big Show. Caruso said, Big Show, Randy Orton challenged you to an unsanctioned match next Monday on Raw. It appears you accepted the challenge. Is that the case? Big Show responded stating, Charlie, let me just clarify, everything for everybody. Yes, I accept. And that was it. Then move on to our main event. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of this show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Remember, that phone number is 510-906-1341 as we got our main event here, women's tag team title match. Match went about 18-19 minutes. So before the match starts, Bayley says, we got a video to play. It's so nice, we got to show you twice. It's a Bayley Sasha appreciation video. So Bayley and Banks attacked Asuka and Sane as the announcers were introducing everybody. Asuka and Sane fought back and knocked them out of the ring. Sane tagged in. No. Yeah. So Asuka started off for her team, but Sane tagged in and beat up both opponents, gave them a double spear. Sane and Asuka each used running hip attacks to send their opponents from the ring. Asuka followed this up with yes kicks on Banks for a 2. Bayley attacked Asuka from behind, and Banks managed to take control over Sane. Banks and Bayley slingshotted Sane into the plexiglass, which led to the commercial. They worked over Sane until she gave Banks a spinning back fist. Asuka tagged in and hit Bayley with some strikes, shoulder tackle, and a running hip attack. She took down both opponents with a bulldog clothesline combo. Only got a 2 on Bayley, though. Asuka followed this up with a sliding knee for a 2. Bayley dropped Asuka over the top rope. Then, Banks used a running double knee strike for a 2. Bayley and Banks used a double knee slam for a 2. Bayley gave Asuka an avalanche hurricane rana, but Asuka kicked out and put Banks in the Asuka lock. Sane stopped Bayley from breaking it up with a spear, but Banks got to the ropes. Sane tagged in and gave Banks an axe kick. Asuka followed this up with a kick, and Sane hit an insane elbow that looked like, well, they were about to win the match. She goes for the pin, and Bayley pulls her out of the ring. Sane then used a flying forearm and an Alabama slam on Banks. Banks reversed a sliding forearm into a bank statement crossface. Kairi Sane was stuck in the middle of the ring, bent almost straight in half, and had no choice but to tap out. So with that, Bayley and Banks do retain the WWE Women's Championships. Bayley is still Bayley Doe straps, and Sasha, well, she's got a match with Asuka this Sunday for the title, the Raw Women's title, and can also become a double champion herself. I don't expect it, but actually since Sasha won tonight, decisively got the victory, was the one to cause the submission, so I expect Asuka to retain. But with that, that was tonight's Monday Night Raw. Do have some text messages here I do want to read. This person here says, any more news on Kairi Sane possibly leaving WWE this summer? The rumor was she was supposed to leave in May and go back to Japan because she misses her fiance. Have you heard anything new? And no, I actually have not. Like I said, you laid it all out there in your message. You said Sane was supposed to go back to Japan in May, and that's the last thing I heard. She was supposed to go back to Japan in May. I haven't heard anything since, so we'll figure it all out. This person here states, with Shayna Basler back on Raw, do you expect her to be the next challenger for the Raw Women's Championship after elimination? No, I read that wrong. After Extreme Rules. Yeah, I hope so. But I hope she doesn't just get the match. I hope they don't just give her a title shot. Because I think she needs to earn it. Even if it's just one decisive victory where she taps somebody out in 15, 20 seconds and says, hey, I haven't lost a step. Hey, I'm still, dominant. I may have lost to Becky at WrestleMania, but I've been training and I'm ready to go. So, I think that maybe SummerSlam she can get that shot. But there's a long, let's see, how many weeks do we have between SummerSlam and Extreme Rules? Extreme Rules is here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 weeks between SummerSlam and Extreme Rules. So, yeah, that's not too much time. You can spread that out. This person here just texted in and said, just watched Raw Talk and Samoa Joe planted the seeds for Asuka to take on Kairi Sane for the title. That seems very interesting. That is an interesting one. Again, I haven't seen Raw Talk. I usually don't watch Raw Talk, but I haven't seen it tonight, especially since we went live right after the show went on the air. So, hey, that's an interesting one. Maybe. No. Because I'd say maybe Kairi turns on Asuka and costs her the match at Extreme Rules. But then that would cost her the title as well, possibly. So, no, never mind. But that is an interesting one, that they use Joe like that to plant some seeds. Click this text message here, see if I can get it to load. This person, same person texts back in, says Asuka was on board for it. So like a friendly rivalry kind of deal. Interesting. Asuka versus Kairi for the title, maybe. That'd be a great match, to be completely honest. Let's go back to this last text message I do have here. This person here says, this Friday on SmackDown, Matt Riddle's challenging for the title. Do you see something happening with King Corbin that leads to either another AJ versus Riddle match at the pay-per-view or Riddle versus Corbin? I mean, any of that is possible. Probably not at the pay-per-view, though, because I would assume the IC title match most likely main event SmackDown. So if you do something where it's like Corbin interferes, causes Riddle the title, I don't think you just all of a sudden on social media go, Matt Riddle made the challenge. He wants to face Corbin Sunday. No, I think that's something you build up. You like have Riddle address it the next week on SmackDown, and then you go the following week. So I think that's where that's going to lead to. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. Again, Nick and I will be live tomorrow night right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Have a good night, guys, and I'll see you next time.